G&T show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discussion is advice. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Are friends with benefits?
Speaking of having a good time, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Dayton broke the G&T show. This is now the David Mack
Appreciation Hour. You assholes.
What is it about this guy that people love him so much?
With his purple velvet cape and his crown. I thought it was a little much when he had us carry him in the studio on a throne. I am awesome! Look what I have done! Look what I have brought upon the world!
There is an urge to go, nya.
I heard rumors that you might be working on something else, but we won't prod much. I was going to say...
I'm going to pry a little.
Dare you! How dare you ask me to change it? Do you not understand the majesty of my genius? And the guy sitting next to me looked at me like he was, like I'd cramped in his hat.
Yeah, it's the professionalism that sells the show. That's right.
And welcome to another edition of G&T Supplemental Logs. I am Gettysburg 7, and Terry is not here today. It appears that she, what happened was, we were on the way to the studio, she saw this big egg.
Mothra swooped her up.
Is that what happened? Because I heard that there was a big egg on the ground, and she leaned over to look at it, and something jumped out of it, kind of attached to her face, so she's in the cryo right now.
Oh, that was the Mothra thing.
Oh, okay. And as you hear, to my left, your right, in our colorfully decorated snow studio, Ceridium.
Kapla!
And our very special guest this week for Supplemental Logs is a very beautiful woman, and I mean that for far more than her physical attributes. I've chatted with her online and such, and she's model Sadie Grace.
Hello.
And
welcome.
Sadie, why don't you let our group know about your background and where they can find you to start out with?
Well, I guess I started just doing kind of nerdy modeling. I did a few regular photo shoots and then a few pinup shoots, and then started doing some video game stuff, and that's when I started getting more well-known, I guess, and publicized. And I don't know, all my shoots I just do stuff I love, either vintage clothes or video games or comic books or cosplay, just silly stuff, and I think it kind of shows in my pictures, and I think that's what people respond to.
I first saw you, it was a video game shoot you did. You were sitting on a bed screaming, and you had your feet on a guy who was like laying like you had knocked him out.
Yeah, he's actually holding up a white flag in that picture.
Yeah, and that's how I first saw you, and I think Sadie could attest. I've been a big fan ever since then.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, and one of the things about our group, our audience, is a diverse amount of interests and such. And we have discussed on occasion, or Mike, I would say more than on occasion, the geek girl, the gamer girl, that whole phenomenon. But also, more importantly, it seems like girls go through a big, almost vetting process when they say that they're a geek girl or a gamer girl. Would you agree, Sadie?
Oh yeah. I probably get more crap for being a gamer than for anything else.
Can you explain that? When what you go through, because some of our audience may have no comprehension of and be like, no, that can't be real.
Well, I think a lot of females are considered rare across a lot of nerd cultures. I know I'm one of only, I think, 3 girls that have a grab bag at the comic book store. So out of hundreds of grab bags, I know we're in the minority. But I don't really get as much attention for comic books as I do video games or watching like nerdy other movies, TV shows. I'm a huge Firefly fan. Like, I wish everything I owned was Firefly.
Did I tell you that? Did I not tell you she's awesome?
Yeah.
That and
cool points.
Just nerd-related cultures. A lot of guys are like, what? You like that? Oh, that's cool. But when it comes to video games, all I hear when I play with guys is, how come more girls don't play video games? But then as soon as I log on, it's get in the kitchen, make me a sandwich, noob.
What?
And,
They literally say that to you?
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I'm kind of a smartass, so I have my replies. When they tell me to get in the kitchen and make them a sandwich, usually I'm playing Halo, so I'm like, bitch, I am in the kitchen making a sandwich. I just beat your ass playing one-handed. What happened? and then not a fan of those responses. So then I get called every name in the book. But for the most part, other cultures, they think it's pretty awesome that a girl partake. But when it comes to video games, I don't know if guys feel threatened or what it is. They're pretty torn. They either think I'm the coolest chick in the world because I do, or that I must be like 500 pounds and live in my mom's basement and not have any life because I'm better than them at Halo.
Yeah, you're definitely not 500 pounds. But, now, dude, you ever get people, like, questioning your, quote, gamer credentials?
Oh, constantly. She doesn't really play video games. No girl that looks like that plays video games.
That's insulting.
I'm sure there's people sitting here listening with their jaws open going, what?
Yeah, well, that's why whenever someone challenges me saying something like that on one of my pictures, I love hosting Let's Play Night with Halo and games like that so that they can come on. And we'll usually get a huge group and just play big team, all just people from Facebook, and they'll either get put on the opposite team or on my team, and they'll see how good I actually play.
Now, how many... I know that you and I were chatting one night, and you were like, oh, yeah, 'cause that's my, I set aside time for gaming. How much time do you set aside a day for gaming?
Oh, during the summer and over break, I think it's more I set aside time for showering, eating, and sleeping because the rest of the time is just gaming. But when I'm in school, it's a lot harder. I'm a pre-vet, which I don't know if anyone knows much about that, but vet school is harder to get into than med school.
Huh?
So during the school year, it's a lot of studying, and I play whenever I can or whenever I finally catch up on homework. But exams are next week, and then I have 3 weeks off, so I don't plan on leaving my Xbox for about 3 weeks.
Now, I know a gentleman shouldn't ask this, but because you said you're pre-vet, can you, being the gamer that you are, can you tell our audience your age?
I'm 28. I have a baby face. I still got carded for Halo when I bought it. Halo 4 came out last year.
Oh my God.
And I went through the checkout lane, and she's like, I need to see some ID. And I looked at her and laughed because I thought she was kidding. And then she's like, no, really. I'm like, are you serious? The only reason that this game has, like, this rating on it is so that those little kids can't hear what I'm about to fucking yell at them. I don't really censor myself that well. But evidently I have a baby face. Everyone still thinks that I look very young, and no one believes me when I tell them I'm almost 30.
That's funny. Now, what comic books do you enjoy?
My absolute favorite is Saga. It's about 16 issues in right now. It's absolutely amazing. I've also started reading a lot of newer comics lately. I have Rat Queens, and a lot of the comic books I pick up because they have a female character I can really relate to, and I've gotten sick of just all the good characters always being males. So now I like to pick up things that I can have a little bit more in common with. I did start reading the Batwoman Elegy because I want to start reading her series in the New 52. I'm also a huge fan of Deadpool. I have Deadpool hoodies and Deadpool t-shirts, and I even have a Deadpool mask because I just did a shoot recently with my Deadpool mask. And I just picked up the new rendition of Painkiller Jane. They've redone it from what it used to be, and it's pretty awesome.
Right on.
It's funny you say about the New 52 because I got one of my subscriptions is the New 52 Birds of Prey, which I absolutely love that title. And
I saw the cover and fell in love with the cover. Wanted to pick it up just to check it out just because of the cover.
And I am now, and I think Mike can attest to this just from our talking, I am such a huge Black Canary fan now. And between that and her arriving on Arrow,
you should have heard him squee when he saw her on Arrow.
I went nuts. I went absolutely nuts.
Nice.
Like a schoolgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just recently started getting into comics, so it was probably last year that I took my first trip to the comic book store just to go with someone else to pick something up. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll pick up something up to check out. And I talked to the fella that works at one of the local comic book stores in my town. And the first one that he gave me was Frey, which was just a 6-issue series, and it was by Joss Whedon. And I love everything Joss Whedon. Yeah, Firefly, woo! And anyway, so I picked up Frey and absolutely fell in love, and I came back and told that fella that was definitely right up my alley, and everything he's recommended to me since has become one of my favorite series. He just knows exactly the kind of thing I'm into, and everything he recommends is gold.
That is so important, too, that, like, where the shop I go, they know what I like. That you go to a shop and they understand your... there's a series now called 10,000 or 10 Grand that J. Michael Straczynski's writing that they recommended to me, which I absolutely love. Now, have you read Sandman?
No, I have not.
Oh, yeah. I got a tattoo of death.
I did have one fella at the same comic book store who tried to, when I went in there telling him what I liked, and, that the other guy always recommended really good stuff, he's like, well, I recommend Lock and Key. And I'm like, it looks really cool. I like the graphics and everything, but I really like strong female characters. And he's like, well, there's a teenage girl in there. She's pretty strong. I mean, that's what I would recommend. And I kept trying to tell him, like, what else would you recommend? He's like, I really like Lock and Key. I'm like, all right, then. I guess I will wait for the other fella.
Well, that brings up something we had a debate about on our show this morning, on our live show. What do you think of, one, the announcement of Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman, and two, the reaction to people talking about her build to play Wonder Woman?
I think that they can do a lot with TV. A lot of what you see on TV and in pictures isn't really that close to how
reality.
they actually look, I guess. And I'm sure they'll do something to try and make it look all right. No movies are ever true to the comic books. I just find most comic book movies to be a letdown, in my opinion, because I'm just so disappointed with how they could have gone and what they do. Movies is never as good as the book.
Well, that's true. That's true. How about the reaction to people saying, like, she was too thin, or and evidently I didn't see this, but Terry said she saw it. That people were saying her breasts weren't large enough.
Well, I'm sure they can always stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not really one to criticize any body type. I mean, I cosplay as girls that I do not have the body type to cosplay as, but it's just someone that you have some sort of a bond with. So I'm hoping that with her portraying Wonder Woman, she's actually a fan. That's more important to me than if she has the correct measurement. I just hope she can actually stay true to the character, and that's more of a concern to me. I guess body type, I'm really against judging any girl on any body type for something they play.
Now, who's your favorite person to cosplay?
I have to say Tank Girl. I'm a huge fan just because I can let, my wildness out when I'm Tank Girl. I do a lot of pinup, so it's very proper, very instructed. There's a lot of details that go into pinup, and whenever I cosplay as Tank Girl, I can throw that out the window because I can sit there and smoke fake cigarettes and just have an attitude and be a badass and have my hair messed up and just kind of look like a train wreck because that's what Tank Girl is. And it's fun to get to play something I'm not.
Now, for people that may not know, when you're going to do... and Sadie and I have talked about this on Facebook, some of her pinup stuff is some of the most beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
You have a look that's very 1940s.
Yeah, I've been told it's all about the dimples and the curves.
How long does a day last when you go to do a shoot of something like that?
It really depends on the shoot, the chemistry with the photographer, how long hair and makeup takes. I've had some where I do my own hair and makeup, and the chemistry with the photographer is just so right that we can go somewhere and in less than an hour crank out some of my favorite images I've ever seen. But then I've also had shoots where I go and I spend over 2 hours in hair and makeup and hour in wardrobe changing between different outfits, and just you can't jive on the exact same thing you're going for with the photographer. You get shots you like, but he doesn't. You get shots he likes, but you don't. And it's ended up being a very long day. My longest shoot I think I've ever done though was probably a 9.5 hour shoot. I got there early in the morning and shot all day long, and I get more sore doing photo shoots than I do actually working on my feet all day in the vet's office.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you learn to stretch muscles you never knew you had.
Yeah, you talked about that one time that, like the positions may look great, but they're so awkward when you're doing them.
Oh yeah. If it looks natural, it's not. If it feels natural, it won't look like it. If I sit there just comfortably, I get the pictures back and I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. But if you're sitting there arching so much it hurts and you're like, no normal person would ever sit like this, you get the pictures back, you're like, wow, that looks flawless. If we always say in pinup, if you're comfortable, or if you're, let's see, we have a few different sayings. Sorry, I've been stressed working on my paper all day. But if it's painful, it's pinup.
Interesting.
Mike, what do you have? Do you have anything so far?
Well, she's been ticking them off my list as she's been going along, so.
I'm sorry?
No, that's awesome.
No, that's good. It just leaves me looking like an ass.
No, shut up. It's the Klingon that leaves you looking. Hey. I know. So, Sadie, something very interesting happened to you this week. And it fits in with what we've been talking about with the whole, what we talked about earlier with the gamer girl and things like that. Can you describe what happened and just like the surprise and because I think a lot of people would be surprised.
Sure. Without going into too many details or naming names, just because I don't really believe in giving publicity to those that don't deserve it.
You're classy like that.
I admin on a few gaming pages that I've been invited to admin on because of my gamer-themed modeling and comic book-themed modeling. I do a wide variety of modeling. I also admin on some pinup pages as well, so it's nothing unique to me. But I always get way more strife from the gamer pages. And there's one that I posted on often when I first became an admin. And as time went on, I was less impressed with the direction the page was going. And it's a rather big Facebook page. They have a lot of fans. But I was just kind of disappointed with what they were starting to stand for. It started with sexy cosplays, which I'm all about. I mean, some of my clothes, or some of my shoots I'm covered head to toe. But some of them, you know, I'm barely covered at all. So I understand sexy cosplays. And I'll do sexy shoots myself if they have a point or apply to, you know, what you're going for. Like, I wouldn't just post one of me in lingerie on a gaming page and be like, well, I'm a gamer, so here's me half naked. I would expect to have confrontation about that. So this page started with sexy cosplays and then sexy video game shoots. And keep in mind, mine are done in a studio and a lot of work goes into them on behalf of the photographer, the lighting, hair, makeup, wardrobe, everything. And we started posting pictures of girls in their living room playing video games that were half naked. And then, you know, grainy cell phone pictures of girls covering their boobs with controllers. And just less and less every time we posted. And my final straw was someone posted a picture of a girl in just a bra and a mask. Not even a video game related mask, not a cosplay related mask, just a skull mask and a bra. And that was it. And the fans started commenting for the past week about that. And then especially on that picture, everyone was saying, what's the point of posting this? What was your intention? How is this related to gaming? And things along those lines. And so I posted on there asking, what do you guys want to see? Do you want to see more gamer-related content, or do you want to see half-naked girls that have nothing to do with gaming? And
that's a loaded question.
that was how one of the other admins saw it as well. But the fans, they wanted to see gaming-related content. They're like, I'm all about the sexy girls, but at least have it gaming-related. Everyone expressed that they did not want to see just attention whores. And so when I posted about that, my post was removed. So then I posted again. I'm like, well, evidently the other admins have spoken, and I'll jump on the bandwagon. How is everyone today? And what movies and TV are you watching? Nothing gamer-related at all. Here's some naked pictures. And then that got removed as well. And then I got removed as an admin. And she didn't say anything on the page, but on her personal page, one of the admins was posting about me in the group message board, being relatively derogatory towards me. And she's like, the only reason that you were hired on was because you do sexy shoots. And I'm like, I understand that, but they're gaming related. And my main concern is that the things on here are not gaming related. That's the only thing I have. And she said that they're not going to stop posting sexy pictures and that I shouldn't be part of the group and silliness like that. And so I was removed for suggesting that the page should have gamer related content, in my opinion.
Wow, that's, you know, like, that just blows my mind.
Oh, just keep in mind the name of the page said Gamer Chicks right in the title.
Oh, man. Well, I commend you for sticking to your guns.
With a girl in a bra and a mask.
Still, I commend you for sticking to your guns. That's awesome.
And it sounds like a lot of the consumers of the board were actually behind your vision as well.
Oh yeah, most of the fans supported that, and after I was removed as admin, I noticed multiple fans posting about me and them getting rid of their best admin and things like that, and all of those comments were deleted, and everything I posted was deleted, and I actually used to be one of the photos for their cover photo for the page.
I remember
that, yeah. One of the fans said, if you're going to remove your best admin, you shouldn't have her as your cover photo, so then that got removed as well.
Oh, man.
Silliness.
But do you think that speaks to, like, what we were talking about, the attitude that some people have when you sign on to play?
Yeah, I think, although I wish more girls shared my vision, I guess some girls are just ingrained in the sex aspect of things, and I don't know how else to explain it. I just think some girls do a lot more to damage the title of a girl in the gaming community than they do to build us up.
Interesting.
That was something that at the Star Trek convention, because we go every year to Vegas to the Star Trek convention.
Of course you do.
the Geek Girls panel has discussed that, though, and one of the really funny but true things that one of the women said was, you know, people say to her, oh, well, you can't really be that big a Star Trek fan or a sci-fi fan. And she's like, you know, cosplay is one of the more expensive hobbies there is. So if I really wanted attention, there's a lot less expensive ways to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to put money into something, it's something you're passionate about. Cosplay and pinup, I think, are the two most expensive things in my life besides my vet bills.
Now,
what was it? Do you...
Well, you had mentioned vet bills, so I take it you also, because I take it you have an interest in animals. Do you have any pets?
Yeah, I'm kind of a bleeding heart for rescue, so I have a house full of handicapped animals.
Right on.
My little
I can relate to that.
My little sidekick, he was in so many of my photo shoots.
Oh my God, yeah.
He just passed away about a month and a half ago. He was a one-eyed pug named Ninja, and he was blind in his other eye. So he was completely blind, just he only had one eye, but he rode on the motorcycle, and he went to all my photo shoots, and he did everything with me. I have pictures of me being a big dork and burying him in the sand at the beach.
Right on.
Just his head sticking out, nothing weird.
My favorite photo of the two of you is the one where you're looking like you're trying to budge him, and he's just like looking away, like whatever.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite shoots with him. We got him to sit down, and it's just a series of me trying to get him to come with me on a leash in like 6 different positions or something, like me straining myself like he weighs a ton, and he was just a little 14-pound pug. I also have he's a mutt. He was a stray. We're not sure exactly what he is, so we think he's probably Chow Shepherd. I found him in the middle of the road in winter, and his eyes were actually frozen shut, and his leg was hanging down, and so I brought him to the vet. We thought he got hit by a car or something, but he had some condition where his eyelid grew inward, so the hair was irritating his eyes, and since they were watering, since it was winter, it froze, so his eyes froze shut, and we thought he got hit by a car, but it turns out someone had shot his back leg out with a shotgun.
Oh my gosh.
And when I brought him in, they're like, is this your dog? I'm like, no, I found him, and they pretty much implied that they were going to be putting him down, so I adopted him and took out a loan, and he has a steel leg now, and we had surgery to have his eyes opened up further so that they're sewn on the outside now, so now he has big doe eyes, and he's a big baby. He's scared of cats and birds and chipmunks, and he chases them all over, but if they turn around and look at him, he doesn't know what to do. I also, just last night, I had to get one of my kitties put down. She was completely blind also. We got her from the rescue, and then I also have a 3-legged cat and a dog that doesn't have any handicap problems, except for she has a little bit of separation anxiety. I found her when she was too young to be sorted from her family, and she was on her own, and so I took her in, and so now she's kind of just clings to me like glue.
That's awesome, though. I have a special needs dog as well, so I can definitely relate.
The vet bills get pretty high.
Buddy, he's a Chihuahua and Italian Greyhound mix, and he suffers from seizures.
Aww.
Always scary. So
we have a lot of seizure dogs at the vet's office I work in.
Do you find that you take... wait, after that, it's hard to get back to the question I just remembered. Do you find you take more heat from women or men?
I think I get more hurtful comments from women, but I think that's also because even my own fan base, when I look at the stats on the page, I guess I have about 80% male fan base and 20% female. So I think I see a lot more comments from guys, and sometimes the comments guys make, they think they're being nice and they think they're being complimentary, but they're just a little awkward to be taken like that. But I get a lot more hurtful comments from the females, even though there's a lot fewer of them.
I do have a question. Do you have any rules or guidelines that you would suggest people follow when dealing with gamer girls, cosplay players, or people of that nature, people who put themselves out there in such a way that, you know, they're in the public eye, so to speak? Do you have any rules or guidelines that you'd like people to kind of sort of adopt or you know?
I would say just nothing separate from anyone else you'd meet on the street. Treat everyone with respect. I mean, as much as you might want to judge that girl for her cosplay or how scantily clad she's dressed in some video game shoot, I mean, as long as she's wearing clothes, I don't know. I guess there's a place for naked chick too, just I don't think Facebook is it. But just be respectful, because no matter what you see, there is a soul behind those pictures. A lot of the things that people say on my pictures that get shared, they just assume the model's never going to see them, and they assume the cosplayer's never going to see them. And there's a real person behind the page, and they read that stuff, they see that stuff, and they hurt too. I mean, some models have become numb to it because just so many years facing it. I mean, people say that models are bitches. Some of them have become that way because of what they get from everywhere else. They didn't start that way, and I've seen it happen. And the ones that aren't hardened and jaded yet, those are the ones that they still read everything. They still cry when people say mean things. They're still constantly judged. Me alone, I get told I'm too skinny for some things, too chubby for some things, that I have a butter face, that I'm too pretty for this but not cute enough, that I'm too cute but not pretty enough. Models are constantly being judged for something. So
you've been told you have a butter face?
Oh yeah, multiple times. I usually, that's another thing the girls usually say, is the only reasons I have fans is because of my body.
Well, and so I know that because you're in school, I don't know if you happened to see the show that was on earlier this year, that was on the cosplay show.
I did not watch it because after the first episode, I read many of my cosplay friends criticizing it because they encouraged competition, they encouraged negativity in the field, and I try and stay away from any kind of shows that really encourage that. I'm someone that tries to think positively about most things, and I'm big on introspection and just kind of critical thought, and I don't really like trying to develop conflict, and I hate confrontation. So shows that encourage that's just not really my bag.
Yeah, one of the things that came up with it was the cosplay is not consent.
Yes, I recall all of that.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's true.
Well, for our audience that doesn't know what we're talking about, can you describe it and
just because a girl is scantily dressed as someone for a cosplay, say if I was going to do some shoots, I'm going to be fully covered, but if I'm going as, Poison Ivy, then I'm going with pretty much a corset on, and that's almost it. And just because girls are wearing hardly anything does not mean that it's free reign for you to walk up. Just because you can see part of their ass doesn't mean that it's there for you to smack.
Really? People have done that to you?
I don't get that. I surround myself, I have almost all male friends, so I think people see me a little bit more unapproachable. When I was at the last Comic-Con, I was walking around with one other female cosplayer and then a photographer, a judge, and a couple other staff reps. And we had a few people come up. I was cosplaying as Tank Girl, and my friend was cosplaying as Shell from Portal. And so both of us weren't really scantily clad. I mean, she had a sexy Shell outfit, I had a sexy Tank Girl outfit, but we didn't really encounter anything like that. I think usually people see that some girls like me usually have a little bit of an entourage, if not that, at least one or two males around them, just because I get along better with most males. But I think that's a little bit more intimidating and unapproachable. I've never had, I've had two females actually come up to me at shows. Usually it's just guys coming up that just don't care and want an autograph.
Yeah, because I'll admit, when I'm at a convention or something, if somebody's walking by, and this is male or female, and Mike, you've seen it, I'll walk up and, hey, can I get a picture? Because sometimes the costume, you just go, oh my God, I gotta get a picture with that costume.
Exactly. I show much more respect for the costume. Well, not more respect. I show much more appreciation for the costume and the thought put into it than for the body that's wearing it. I know there's a person behind there, and they put just as much work into their look as I did, so.
Mike, did you have anything else?
Off the top of my head, no, not really. I'm shocked and appalled that a lot of this is going on. That there is so much disrespect. I mean, we're all people. It doesn't matter what we look like, how we dress or whatnot. I mean, what's important is the individual, and the individual needs to be respected above all else. So,
and that's one reason, Sadie, when you and I were chatting, that I asked if you wanted to come on because of what happened to you, because that just fits into the whole, when sometimes you just say, wow, people are really asses.
Yeah.
True.
See, Mike, and this is why I hate people.
You can't hate people. You can just hate human nature and do your best to work against it.
Wow, Terry's really going to be sad she wasn't here just for that comment alone. Because... Now, Sadie, there are a lot of ways people can find you. On Facebook, Sadie Grace Forever, correct?
Yep, Facebook.com/Sadie Grace Forever is my fan page. I'm also an admin on Gamer Dames, which is a small page, but it's freaking awesome, and we just actually got a whole bunch of new admins on there, and they're revamping the page. It's pretty cool if you're into, gaming-related content. I also admin on a couple pinup pages, such as Pinned Up, and I love pinup, but for Pinned Up, I'm more of just a contributor. I send in pictures, and there's only one chick that runs that whole page, and I just help her find stuff occasionally. I Love Pinup, I'm one of the main admins also, and then I just got accepted onto Gore site modeling, which is a step out of the ordinary for me. It's mainly alternative modeling. There's other models on there, but it's definitely a lot younger crowd than me and a lot more alternative, but it's really fun because some of those girls are just absolutely gorgeous, and they're an inspiration for new kinds of shoots and new awesome stuff to try out, and they all have the most amazing hair.
And there's Model Mayhem, correct?
Oh, yep. I also have a Model Mayhem page. I use that to connect with a lot of the photographers I work with that don't have Facebook or aren't active on Facebook. A few other models, makeup artists, hairstylists, and on there as well. I use that mainly as my professional page to set up shoots and whatnot. So if you're looking to set up a shoot, that's another good way to get a hold of me.
And for our audience, one of the really cool things that now Mike and I and our co-host Terry, who's not here, we totally geeked out. A couple of the Star Trek authors have put us in their novels. As a matter of fact, I was killed alongside Captain Kirk in one of the novels. You've been a featured model in Red Sky comic books.
Yeah, that was my first break, I guess you could say. It wasn't big or popular at all, I guess, but that was when I had only been modeling for about a month. They saw my first photo shoot ever and wrote me a letter asking me if I would like to be featured as one of their models, and they did a comic book supposedly based around me, but I think it's the same comic book that they rotate models out every 4 years. But I think Stormfire is my comic book character. It's in black and white, and it's not something you can actually pick up at a comic book store. before, but they gave me my first break, I guess. And since then, I've been published in 2 magazines or 2 calendars, and over 35 times in over 20 magazines, I think.
And you just had your first cover, correct?
I did, and I was pleased that it was actually in a pinup magazine for a nerd issue. So I got to combine everything that I love into it, and that was awesome. It was definitely the best of both worlds. It's better than having gotten a cover on just a game magazine or just a pinup magazine. I got to be holding a power glove and the original zapper gun on the cover of TPG magazine, issue 4, their Nerdy to the Max issue. Pretty awesome.
Cool.
I got a 6-page spread in there where they have a long interview with me and a lot of the stuff that you're not going to read about me anywhere else.
Awesome.
And so, just curious, did you watch your Lions today?
I did not. I've been trapped in my room working on this stupid paper.
Wait till you see the highlights.
Don't.
No. Philadelphia was, the snow was unbelievable that we're getting here on the East Coast right now.
Oh,
so
yeah,
wait.
Michigan.
Yeah, lake effect snow.
Don't spoil anything. I have a DVR going right now.
See, how awesome is that? All right, I won't say anything then.
I do my best.
So for our audience, please check out Sadie's information and like her Facebook page and follow her. I can totally attest she is absolute fun. I got my photo of her on the train tracks. I'm very excited. And we cannot thank you near enough for joining us and giving us kind of a different perspective and a different topic for us than normal. And we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Oh, anytime.
Aw, I'm blushing.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, no problem.
And this wraps up another edition of G&T Supplemental Logs. This is Gettysburg 7 alongside...
Ceridium Kapla.
And Sadie Grace.
And Sadie, wanting to thank Sadie Grace for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Jolan True.
Kapla.
Jolan.
Bye.
G&T Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.
Music for the G&T Show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5 Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.